for today, the equipment that you'll need is maybe like a medium-sized dumbbell for when we get to doing some snatches later, single arm, and then maybe another dumbbell or just maybe a couple of books, something that you can press down on to practice some L-sits. When we have like parallettes, we've got dumbbells. I was kind of playing around with this 10-20 minutes ago, and I mean, even if you just have a couple books that can elevate your butt off the floor, we can start to work on some progressions for those L-sits. So yeah, this workout's going to be pretty similar to the day 8 we did a couple weeks ago, where it was a lot of rotation. I progressed a lot of the positions and gave some different options just for some, like, I don't know, just depending on where you're at as far as capability. And really trying to challenge in our circuit today being explosive. We did a lot of explosive work on last Wednesday too with all the dumbbell stuff, and so trying to keep today again, like, some power, some speed, trying to really get you moving. So to get started, we're going to go through one of my favorite stretches, the Bretzel, and really trying to get these hips opened up so when we go to these lateral movements, we're ready to go. So let's start with either Bretzel or a hip flexor stretch, wherever you feel more comfortable. Yeah, let's do it. So in that Bretzel position, I'm gonna be sideline. I'm gonna have one leg kick back, and it's gonna be that bottom leg that I grab to pull back, and then from here I'm trying to rotate my shoulder back with, and if those quads are feeling a little tight, that's definitely what I'm feeling. This one will feel pretty good. As you exhale, really trying to bring that shoulder back. So we're getting some good hip flexor stretch, but also a little bit of rotation through that upper torso, which will be good for all the rotation stuff we're going to do. And then it's either like 5 breaths or about 30 seconds of holding that stretch. Let's see if that light helps. Highlight. And then we're going to go to the other side here. We're back. We're going to grab a hold of that leg. I'm going to block this leg or let the knee touch to the ground. Think about pulling your toes towards your face in this stretch. 1, it helps create more tension. 2, it kind of matches all the marching and all the other stuff that we do. We want, good solid mechanics. Yeah, after the day 8, workout, I felt really good after like moving around in all these different planes, and so I really want to play around with that and just doing kind of odd movements and stances. It really helps kind of open some stuff up. Oh man, that feels really good. Okay, so we can just stay down in this position here, and then we're going to block. If you need a foam roller or a yoga block for your head because it's uncomfortable for your neck, or a couple books or whatever you have around, go for it. We're going to stack our knees up like fetal position. I'm going to let my bottom hand grab a hold of my legs so that I don't rotate when I bring back. I can do it this way, and again, I'm more trying to get my shoulder back towards the floor. That's most of what I'm stretching. I'm not trying to get much of a stretch here in the front of my shoulder. I want more of the rotation to come from the torso, so we can think about either grabbing our ribs and rotating, and then try to take some breaths in this position. As you exhale, you're reinforcing the rotation. Trying to get a little bit farther each time. About 5 breaths or so. Trying to get some air into places that feel tight. Trying to open things up. And from here, I'm blocking that bottom. Still get into the camera here. I'm either grabbing the ribs, rotating back, or I can use a little bit more of the weight of my arm to help me rotate my shoulder back towards the floor. And then I'm trying to take about 5 breaths here, just opening up wherever I feel tight. For me, I feel tight more in my chest, kind of upper. I know some people will feel it kind of through more of their lat, and it's all good stuff. Finish out your 5 breaths, and then we're going to go into that adductor stretch. And so I saw Nate Keeney was doing this one on his. Who else is waving here? Is that Dan?
Yep.
What's up, Dan? And yeah, it's a great way to kind of start opening up those hips. So we got, one knee down, going with a nice wide base with our other foot. We're going to come down to all fours. And then from here, I'm thinking about sitting back into my heel, or my butt to my heel, getting that stretch through the adductor. We're just rocking back and forth, whatever feels comfortable for you. If you're tight like me in this position, then it doesn't take a whole lot. You may feel some differences from left to right too, and that's totally normal. I don't know. I don't think it. Is the window bothering you guys at all? Is it giving you glare? I think it might be with the phone, but. What does that say? Hi. What's up, Tasha? Good to see you too. Well, good to see your text. I still need to talk to you too. Been trying to call them for like a week. They're busy people. About 30 seconds or so, we're just rocking back and forth here for about 5 or 8 reps. Just kind of creasing ourselves into this position. This one feels pretty good today. How's it feel? Alright. One more time. We're going back to Bretzel. Maybe if I bring the camera down a little bit, I can do it. Good morning. Welcome. Bring this camera down for a second. While we go through. Morning. Thanks for joining us. We're just going through a couple stretches, and so the option is either a hip flexor stretch on the couch, so I'll do that one, or you can do what Janelle's doing here, which is a Bretzel, or it's a hip flexor stretch, and she's also working on some rotation through her shoulders. With a hip flexor stretch, we can start as simple as being just one knee down, thinking about tucking our hips, staying nice and stacked, and then coming forward just a little bit as I squeeze my butt. Should be able to feel that stretch here pretty quickly if we're being aware of our position. If we want to make it a little more challenging, we can elevate the foot. Again, I don't want to sacrifice arching my back and losing my position. So I'm still thinking about tucking my butt, drawing my back pockets towards the floor as I tuck, getting that hip flexor stretch. And we're just taking like 5 breaths or so, or about 90 seconds. Or we can be focusing more on that Bretzel like Janelle's doing here, where she's grabbing that bottom leg and pulling here so she gets her hip flexor, keeping her knee planted on the floor, trying to rotate her shoulders. And we're going to do more of that in the next drill anyway, right? So, how's it feel? Yeah. I like that position a lot. I mean, it's kind of funky, kind of awkward, but can really help open some things up. And so now we're going to get right back into those either a rib grab or I can call them like a windmill. Really the thing we're looking for here is getting some rotation and then being able to breathe in that position. So I'm going to block with my hand. I'm in a fetal position, I'm blocking, my bottom hand goes to my knee so that when I rotate, and open up, my knees don't shift, and most of the rotation is coming from more of my upper body. And then as I look back behind me, I'm trying to breathe and find air in tight spots. Should feel like a pretty good stretch through the shoulders. Some people will feel it in their upper back. Sometimes it's through more of kind of the lats. We just want to open up this stuff as much as we can so when we get to some of our rotation type exercises, things feel a little better and move a little more fluidly. I'll give you the angle from the back here. Again, I'm more thinking about rotating my shoulders towards the ground, or this top shoulder towards the ground. If I want to reach my hand up, that's okay. Adds a little more weight, gives me a little deeper stretch, but we don't want to feel the stretch in the front of our shoulder. We want it through our torso. Like 5 breaths or so. And then we're going to get one more time into that adductor stretch. I'll do it at this angle so that you can see Janelle too. Taking time. In that adductor stretch, we're taking that wide base. One knee is down, one foot is out to the side. And then we're thinking about sitting back into our hip. We should be getting that stretch here through our adductor. And we're just rocking back and forth into that stretch. Trying to open these hips up. We're going to be doing a lot of positions here where we go to more of shifting our weight over one foot today. And, to do that, as you're working on that, again, 5 to 8 on each side, but as we go to these activities where we're trying to shift our weight, we need our hips, our shoulders, our head, everything to come over the foot that we're on to really get a good shift and to really practice learning how to stabilize over one leg. We want to be able to shift our weight. That's good gait mechanics, mobility. It's really important. Making sure that we're really using the right muscles in all different planes of motion, right? And so we want to try and get some good stretches here to help open up those hips so that when we go to shift, they're not the thing limiting us. And 5 to 8, or about 30 seconds of work, and then we're going to get into our next set of things to just kind of reinforce everything that we've been talking about. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to a lateral squat. And again, the thing that you're trying to do, I'll do it this way just so you can see, and then I'll turn so that you can see Janelle and I both. Your toes go straight ahead, wide base with the feet. I'm trying to get my zipper, if I had a zipper here too, like my the middle of my sternum or a tie, and my nose over my foot. So I'm trying to shift everything over. I'm going to end up rolling onto more of the ball or the inside of my foot to help me get over here, and that's okay. Reach, 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 reach. I'm trying to make everything come over the foot, right? And then I push myself out, pushing away, kind of getting to the ball of the foot here, right? My foot opens up, and I'm trying to get my zipper over, my rib cage over, and my nose all centered over that foot. Really trying to get over there. Keep your knee in line with your foot. You might even feel some stretching through the hips. That would be a good thing. Kind of opening up some tight spaces. And we're gonna go nice and slow. And we're gonna get 5 on each side. Really reaching over, and you can reach with that opposite hand to help you get over too, right? To get everything over here to one side. It also helps to get both hands out in front because it will allow you to kind of stay more upright. How's it feel?
Good. Like
You need sore at all?
definitely.
What'd you do?
A lot of squat planes deadlifts.
You gotta speak up so they can hear you.
Squat planes and deadlifts.
Nice. Alright, finish up. And so we worked on this a little bit last week. We're only going to do a half get up today, but just because we want to talk about good shoulder position when we get into some of these positions where we're either on our butt or on one knee, we're going to do the half get up. So we're going to start on our back. One leg is going to come up, so almost like I'm going to do a glute bridge, right? Whatever leg is up, I'm going to have that hand up in the air, pretending like I'm holding some weight. The other leg and the other arm, they can start nice and close to the body, and we're going to go about 45 degrees away from midline, and then we're going to plant. So if this is 0, it's about 45, maybe 30, and then I'm going to plant. From here, the whole point of this exercise is shoulder stability, right? This is what we're trying to get out of this. When I go to bridge, I'm going to pull myself up with my elbow, so I end up in this position here. So I push with my hips, I pull with my elbow. I'm trying to keep my shoulders nice and stacked here, and I want to learn how to use more of my lower trap and my lat to keep my shoulders stable, so that when I go to push myself up from here, I'm not going to hurt myself or use, weird stuff in my shoulder to get me up. From here, I'm going to windshield wipe out, and then I'm going to push myself up so I get my shoulders nice and stacked again. I'm driving the pit of my elbow away from me, so I'm trying to turn my hand through the floor so that the pit of my elbow goes away from the body, and that's what's going to help me feel the right stuff. And then from here, we're going to bridge up and just make sure our shoulders are nice and stacked, and then we're just going to come right back down. Back to the elbow. Take a breath, making sure our shoulder blades are in the right position, pushing ourselves down. In control, right? And then you can go ahead and switch sides, but just for the camera angle, I'll keep doing this side because that'll work better. Again, I'm pushing, bridging, coming up to the elbow, squeeze, out. From here, we'll just go to the bridge, and then we're back down. Pushing through the elbow, pushing away. Let's get 3 on each side. Here, push, pull. One of the ways you know that you're probably not getting enough tension through your bridge and your elbow is this leg that's straight. If it pops up off the floor, we know you're trying to do more of a sit-up, and for now it's probably okay, but over time we want more of that tension to come from, again, pulling with the elbow and pushing with the foot so that I can keep most of the tension here through my upper body and my leg. I don't have to kick up to get myself up. And then being able to stack our shoulders, right, and feel like we're getting, good morning, Andy. Feel like we're really stacking those shoulders on top of each other so that when we go to bridge and we do some other movements today, that we're aware of our shoulders and not doing anything too funky with those. Have a deep bed?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. And last thing we got is those airplanes. So you can get, either the edge of a couch, a foam roller, a dowel, something to help you balance here. We're going to that single leg RDL type position. We're kind of teetering over one leg, balancing ourselves. Do on this side. So once I get into position here, I'm thinking about facing my hips away and then facing my hips straight down. So I'm basically working on trying to get this muscle here to turn on, squeeze as I face my hips away. We're also maybe feeling a little bit of a stretch. Opening up. Hey, it looks like it's going to be a really nice day today. Opening up, getting a little bit of single leg balance. Let's go 5 to 8 on each side, depending on how fast you're moving. Hopefully you're moving slower with more intention and tension. Opening up, closing the book. So if I had spotlights on my hips, right? My hips are facing away and then facing the floor. Facing away and facing the floor. Like I said, today, ideally you've got a medium-sized dumbbell and then maybe either 2 dumbbells so that you can elevate yourself off the ground, or so you can push your butt off the ground when we practice some L-sit progressions, or a couple of small books. That's probably enough to get your butt off the ground. So we're gonna do one more round though here of the lateral squat, the get up, half get up, and the airplanes. So that wide base, toes straight ahead. As I shift, I'm trying to get my zipper, my tie, my nose all over my foot, right? As much as I can. So I'm gonna have to push myself to the ball of my foot on the straight leg. Really try and stack my entire body over this other leg. Really opening up those hips. I'm gonna go a little higher with this camera.
It's the she big move.
It's the she big, yeah. That's what he talks about. That's exactly it. I don't know if you guys have seen Nate or met Nate, but he's real big on getting people moving in the frontal plane and like uses that analogy a lot of being able. He did a presentation at Pro Club. We've had some similar influences as far as the trainers that we follow and some of the systems that we've learned. But it's always fun because we always take a little bit different perspective on some things and have our own style of integrating it into training, and I think that's what makes training super fun.
What if we only had legs?
Oh, we only had legs. Then maybe we're probably really strong. You probably wouldn't have guitar. Alright, back to that half get up. Down here. In that half get up position, again, we're working on shoulder stability, right? Being able to stack our shoulders, and keep them in a nice safe position, because where a lot of people have issues a lot of times in the front of their shoulder, right? And so as many times as we can through the exercises that we do, we're trying to teach people how to get into more of their lower trap, their lat. Look at the beard. I know. It's like every day is a little crazier, Up. Stacking my shoulders, making sure that, basically I'm trying to create one straight line so when I press up, there's no loss of tension through that chain. I'm sure Dan's beard's looking pretty good too. Dan grows some pretty good facial hair. 2 or 3 each side, depending on how fast we're moving. So this is what we're not looking for, is this leg kicking up. Right, I need to create more tension through pulling with my elbow and pushing with my my bridging leg. One straight line, and then all the way back down to the floor. Yeah. You putting any beard oil in that yet, Dan?
Are you?
No, I'm not. It's just naturally oily. What are those marks? Looks like seconds. Not yet. Gotta start getting that beard up. Okay. Last time with those airplanes, rotating those hips. And then we're gonna get into our first circuit of things here. First circuit's gonna be more strength based with a little bit of rotation kind of influences. And then, like I said, that last circuit that we're gonna do today is more about creating power, being faster. Might have to get moving. I don't know how much time you guys have allotted for these workouts, but I'll try to keep them about an hour or 50 minutes. I feel like this warm up is taking forever. Just 5 on each side, hips down, hips open. I'm gonna have to get outside again today. It's so beautiful out there. Somebody else in the house. What's up, Zach? I had a lot of fun playing last night. That was a good time.
Were you on a team?
Yeah, we were playing a game together called Rocket League. If you haven't played Rocket League,
Has he gotten better?
yeah, they've gotten better. I'm like really good at that game. Like really good at that game. It's such a stupid game. Like it's so simple, but there's a pretty big learning curve. And I am really good. I'm super good.
Proud.
I'm so proud of it. Finish out your airplanes and then we're gonna get into our first set of things here. So you got a couple options here for our first exercise. It's gonna be either you're gonna go to an all fours position and you're either going to press yourself slightly off the ground with your knees and then tap the opposite shoulder. So you can take a wider base with your feet. You're gonna do either 16 of those or you're just gonna stay down, pushing away, keeping your knees down, right? For 16 total taps. Or we're gonna do what we did 2 weeks ago. We did the full, I think they call them break dancers, but it's basically like going from all fours to that half get up position. So I go from here, I kick the leg through. Again, I'm trying to keep my shoulder blade packed down. From here, and then I come back to all fours. Or you're doing 10 of those. Rotating. Either way, you either got 16 shoulder taps, knees off or knees down, as long as you're pushing away, creating good tension with your weight forward over your arms, hands. Or doing the break dancer where we're going. What's that?
Those are fun.
Yeah. I think you missed this workout last week.
I think.
I had to do it all by myself. I was so tired. I think I did all the reps too.
Wow.
From there, yep, you're just rotating to that get up, yep, keeping that shoulder stacked, pressing back up, boom, good. Nice. Yeah, you're just doing 10 of those today if you're going to this progression. If you're doing the shoulder taps, it's just 8 each side, whether your knees are off the ground or not. Should be pretty good. Should be able to find one of these exercises should be challenging for you. Get you practicing stacking those shoulders up. Nice. Finish up. I think everything else we got here is more of a standing. Maybe about there. So next one we got is those lunge fall outs. And we'll do it alternating. And we're going to go 8 each side. So this is where we're going to fall out, shifting our weight, and coming back up. So you can think almost like you have a big medicine ball in your hand. And like that you're getting some momentum. You can even hold a little dumbbell maybe. As I fall out, I'm getting some momentum to help me shift over, and then I'm trying to really push myself out. So I'm loading in the hip, pushing out of the hip. Loading in the hip, pushing out of the hip. Now you're alternating, sorry. Ton of space in here. Yeah, go this way. Loading out. clients, especially when I want to work with power, I'll take like a really light medicine ball like that and do a lot of these rotational throwing drills. It doesn't take a lot of weight because we mostly want to be moving fast. I think some of the balls that we have, even at the club, are too heavy. Even like the 6-pound ball, I wish we had like a 2 or 3-pound ball where we could really work on more getting speed out of that movement and not so much worrying about how heavy it is. Finish out your lunges. Should have got 16 total. And then on the next one, there's a couple options too. So we're going to go to either a yoga push-up. You're basically going to do a yoga push-up, and in between the yoga push-ups, you're going to tap the opposite foot. We did that a few weeks ago where we just tapped the opposite foot. Or you can just go to the top of the push-up to a yoga and then reaching in. So we're either going, we push, we go through, then tap, or we just come to this position, tap, position. But if you're gonna do it without the push-up, I want you to create some good tension here before you reach your head through and then tapping the opposite foot. And here, like creating good tension in that plank, reaching through, trying to keep more of that tension through the armpits, kind of like you do in like the all fours positions where we're really trying to generate more tension through the armpits, staying tight. Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you, or good to see your comment. Again, shooting for 16 taps altogether, so 8 taps on each side, whether we're going to that yoga position and then reaching, or doing a push-up between each one. Do whatever you want, whatever feels good. I haven't heard from Min in a long time. Okay, all done? Next one you got is a reverse lunge with a twist. So we've been doing this quite a bit. We're gonna go hands overhead, reaching back, and then we're gonna take the elbow towards the front foot, right? So the lunge, and then you're trying to keep your spine nice and tall as you really rotate those elbows, rotate your vision, everything over, back, from here, rotating, and we're going 16 all together on this one too. You get all of them?
Yep.
Nice. Shoot, I wonder how the housing market's doing. Are people still buying houses? $16 total. And then we're gonna get into our last set of things. So, like I said, we've got a lot of ways to do the L-sit, but I know a lot of people don't have the equipment that we have here. So, even like a perfect push-up, handles, a couple dumbbells. If you don't have those things, we're just gonna go to a couple books. That'll be enough to kind of elevate you. So what we're working on here is trying to get our shoulders in kind of this back and down. Same thing we did with the get up, right? Same kind of tension of turning the pit of our elbows away as we stack. And so it's probably going to be more comfortable to start with your hands going sideways, and then eventually you can work to having your hands, fingers pointing straight ahead. But it's probably just going to be easier to get your shoulders in the position that we're looking for if we go from here. And so as you push your butt off the ground, again, I'm trying to kind of open up and turn the pit of my elbows away. Once we get into this position, we're going to work on just bringing one leg up. So I'm trying to stay nice and tall, keeping my butt off the ground. Should feel the triceps working, those armpits. Again, you can, we have parallettes, we got perfect push-ups. You can use 2 dumbbells if they're stable, right? And grab a hold of those and push down through the floor. But if all you have is a couple books, then we'll use the couple books. Pushing butt off the ground, and we're just gonna go one leg at a time.
One leg up. Try and stay nice and tall. And this one's again going to be like 16 total. Should feel those triceps, those armpits. I have no idea what
7, 8, 9,
Oh.
10. 13, 14, 15, 16.
Nice. And if the alternating the feet is too challenging, just have you focus on pushing your butt off the floor. Coming down, push your butt off the floor. Work on doing that. I think most people should be able to get to that position. Good skill. Good skill to have. Okay, back to that all fours. You're either doing the break dancer, you're doing the all fours here where you're keeping your weight forward, tapping the shoulder. If you're looking for another progression, you could just go to that push-up position, right, and then tap the shoulders. But I do like this all fours because it kind of gets you to shift and get your weight over one hand. I think that's a good thing to do, especially since that's what we're working on today. There we go. Again, if you're doing this variation, you're just going to do 10 altogether, so 5 each side. If you're doing the shoulder tapping, whether you're doing it from a push-up position, all fours position, all fours with the knees off the ground, then you're going to go for 16. A little more volume. Janelle likes this one. What's your favorite one so far? And we're going to those fall out lunges, trying to get enough space to where you can alternate these so that you're stepping out, alternating, coming back, really trying to shift, boom, shift your weight over and then really push yourself back, right?
Richard said, how important is lifting the high hand on the sit out?
Lifting the what?
The high hand. On the...
Oh, not that important. That's just like extra. It's basically trying to mimic the get up, right? But it's not that important. More focus on the shoulder that's down. That's definitely the priority. So, boom. We need more space. Lunging out, shifting our weight again, trying to get everything stacked over the foot, and then we're bringing ourselves back up. Shifting over, boom. If you have a little weight, we could use a little weight on this. Kind of give you a little more momentum of reaching over, boom. Almost like you're trying to throw that weight. Gives you a little more of a shift too when we add some weight. 16 all together. Man, you know, I've never taught a group fitness class before. Maybe I should.
Just to get you
I've already written all the workouts. And then if we're back in the gym, I have more equipment, so it'll probably be even better. I've done small groups. I like small groups. I guess that's technically what this still is. I'm not so much the rah-rah group fitness instructor. But maybe with a beard. I have no idea. So bad at counting.
Well, that'd be your worst trick.
How many? I don't know. That's why I like timers. So I suck at counting. Okay, back to that yoga push-up. Or you're going from that tall plank position to putting the head through and then tapping the opposite foot. I'm gonna add a push-up in between just because. Why not? Push it through, tap. Nice. Do you think Jordan is a rah-rah type? I don't know. I've never really paid attention, to be honest, but reverse lunge with reach. So we step back in our reverse lunge. We're really trying to rotate. My head stays tall. It's more about my shoulders rotating through my center. Try and look behind you. Hands on your head, hands behind your head. As you come down and rotate those elbows. He's not.
Richard's the king of group fitness classes.
That's what I heard.
I think he takes like 3 in a day.
Dang.
Maybe just one, but he's there every day.
What time is he usually there?
5:30.
Oh, in the morning? Or at night? I'm always there.
You should always. I see him all the time.
I'm always training like 5, 6 o'clock.
He's
Willis?
always wearing white shirt.
I'm
Coming
sure
in
I've
late.
seen you. I'm sure I've seen you.
Coming in late for with all his bike stuff.
I usually have. Is that Tuesday, Thursday?
He comes every day.
Every day. Well, Tuesday, Thursday, I'm always at Willow's in the evening.
Well, you guys can finally meet each other.
Alright? All together. So another way to do these, if you don't have parallettes, obviously you can go to the books. Another way that will be nice is if you have these kind of dumbbells with the flat sides to them. It's another reason that I really like these, is you can use those as your base. Again, we're trying to keep tension more in our armpits, shoulder blades, so that we're nice and tall, we're not kind of rounding forward. And we'll push ourselves up. Think about turning the pit of our elbows away. And then here. Nice and tall. Let's see where we're at on time here. I need to get going on this. Okay, we're gonna get going on our circuit here, our next circuit of things. It's progression to everything that we've already done. So, first thing we're gonna work on is going to that single leg drop down position. We've done this with a split stance, and you can still do that. If it's hard to come down and balance on one leg, not being planted on the ground, you can stay to this one here, or planting. But I do want you to try and challenge yourself here. And I've allotted 30 seconds of work and then 30 seconds of rest, and then we'll switch. Let's see, we're actually gonna do alternating with the drop downs, because with the other movements, we'll do each, just because time. for time's sake. So again, you're either doing single leg drop down, switching, boom, this way, or here, here, 30 seconds of work. The next one's gonna be dumbbell snatch, right? So bringing that dumbbell from the ground, boom, overhead, something we've practiced over the last couple weeks. We'll do 30 seconds of work from each hand. Think about being really powerful, being really strong. Boom. I don't care how many you get. I want you to be fast with lots of intention in each move that you do. And then the last one is, so the skater progression, we drop down to the foot and then we actually do a sideways jump. So we've done the skaters separately, but now we're gonna add that dropping down and then here, dropping down, and this will be an alternating movement when we get there. Sound good? Okay. We're gonna start with those single leg drop downs. So I'm gonna start the timer, 3, 2, 1. So here, we're really trying to challenge ourselves. We're dropping down fast and trying to own that position. Switch, dropping down, catching ourselves on that one leg, up, down. Good quality in each movement. All right, if we need that back leg to help us a little bit, that's okay. And 30 seconds of rest here. Like I said, each movement, I want you to be really fast. Lots of intention. We're gonna take a little bit more rest than we do in some of our other intervals today, because I want each one to be really, really good. I want you to be well rested so that you can be really powerful in each move. We can still train power no matter what age, right? Here in one leg in front, a little bit more stable. I have a lady who's 82. We do this. Dumbbell snatch. Guess I shouldn't have done. So here with your dumbbell snatch, again, it's that pull, trying to get that belt to float, using those hips. Basically there you go. If you have a light dumbbell, that's fine. Just work on it's basically like jumping with weights. We're trying to really use the hips. The arm is just there to receive the bell. There's a little bit of a pull, especially as it gets heavy, but we really want to be practicing here. Good. And so you're supposed to be on one arm. If you were alternating, just keep alternating. You got another rest here for 30 seconds. You're gonna do this again for 30 seconds. You're either gonna switch arms, or if you were alternating, just alternate. But ideally, we're gonna focus on one arm at a time and just be, boom, really explosive, really fast with our movement. This will be good practice today. So there's a time to practice, there's a time to compete. Right now, we're gonna really train and practice. Go ahead, again. Really trying to use those hips. So even if you just bring the bell underneath your hips here, like you don't have to go all the way to the floor, and just think about jumping with the weight. Trying to get it over your head as I explode and jump. All the Olympic lifts, it's basically jumping with weights. That's the
Which is awesome.
It is awesome. It's a very impressive thing to be able to do. Good. Okay. In the next round, we're going to be doing those skaters, where we drop down and then we skate. You don't have to go very far in your skating, your lateral step. Even if it's just I drop down and then I take a step laterally and then I come up, down, boom, take a step laterally. Awesome. That's plenty. But if you're, pretty athletic, you can really drop down, jump, catch, up. Drop down, jump, catch yourself, come up, reset. Drop. And really try and stick that landing, right? So, drop. We're going to practice those one more time. Alternating. And then we're going to take a little rest, and then we'll reset the interval, and we're going to do it again. I said all these things, doing it with lots of intention, Try and be explosive. Really try and challenge yourself here. Move as fast as you can safely. Drop down, catch myself, and I come up. It's really annoying. Catch your breath here for a second. We got one more round of everything. Starting with just the single leg. Dropping down, alternating, right? Just kind of setting us up for our last drill. You know, really try and challenge yourself. Go to that one leg, dropping down. Own that bottom position for a good second. But be fast. Ready? Let's do it. Let's finish it off. Finish off another workout. This is number, what, 18? Crazy. 3, 2, 1. Single leg drop downs. Alternating. Yep. Good. Up nice and tall, and then we're dropping down. If you need that modification where we use the back leg to help us bounce a little bit, that's totally okay. Whatever you do, do it fast. Do it with some intention. Really drop down. We want to drop down with. Sometimes we're teaching this and people kind of go slow. No, get down there. The faster you get down there, the faster you're going to be able to explode out of that position. And what we're working on right now is being fast. Good thinking. Dumbbell, snatch. One arm at a time. I don't care how many you get. It's more about thinking about jumping with the weight. Jump, explode, use those hips. You don't even have to set the bell down each time. Just get to a position here where you feel like you've got some power in the hips. And you don't even need that heavy of a weight. You can use a lighter weight and still just think about, boom, exploding with your legs. Get that weight over your head as fast as you can. It can be as simple as that. Got a weight. My weight is here. I kind of drop into an athletic position, and now I'm trying to take the weight up over my head as fast as I can. Still working on power. It can be as simple as that.
I'm hungry.
One of Janelle's 3 main words in her vocabulary. I'm hungry. Don't worry. We'll feed Janelle. Make sure she gets. Okay, other arm. 3, 2, 1. One more. Okay, last time with a drop down. Alternate, we got 2 more of that and then we'll be all done. Again, here it can be as simple as I started my split stance, I drop, I step, and then I come up, drop, step, and then I come up. Or we can go a little bit faster and actually get a little bit of a jump in there. Drop. We're trying to stick that landing. If you can't stick the landing, don't jump that far, right? You just take a step. Drop, jump. Last one. And one more round, and you're all done for today. That workout goes for a long time.
7:57.
Yeah.
It's gonna cut out.
What's that?
You think it cuts out on the workout?
I don't think so. Maybe. No, because I did a live for like 2 hours with Dan and them, and it never cut out. Must have been the app. Okay, last one. Drop. Jump. Stick the landing. Oh, nice and tall. I don't care how many you do. I care that you do them well. Try to get 2 more. All right. Well, thanks again for joining us. I really enjoyed that workout. That was pretty fun.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I
Try and
like
mix it in.
breakdancing.
Channel's, yeah, likes the breakdance for sure. That's important. Work that in every couple of weeks on Wednesdays. I think that's a good alternate between doing like some speed dumbbell dynamic stuff, like we did last Wednesday, and then working in more like rotation type stuff and some speed, more like agility, I guess. Super fun. I hope you guys had fun. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you tomorrow. We're going to be trying to work on those pulling motions again, and ideally, oh, it does give me a countdown. I only got 2 minutes remaining. Birdie, thanks for stopping by. Tomorrow, we're going to be trying to work on getting you a little sore. We're going to try and work on those pulling variations, some RDLs, like getting heavier with the bells, like really trying to get you sore. Doing some strength type stuff. Go eat, you know. She's already ahead of you on that. She's working on it. We'll get her fed, get started with our day, get some of our clients in line. Got still training some people online. What's that? Come on, let's see. Still got a couple clients we're training. Still trying to get outside. You know, it's been pretty nice the last couple days, so yeah, doing our own training. It's fun. So I will see you in the morning. We'll get a good pulling workout. If you guys haven't done it already, getting a pull-up bar is a great idea. It's pretty cheap. There's ways, even if you can't do a pull-up, there are ways to use super bands to help you get some assistance. It's super easy. Like I'll probably shoot a video on that soon, on how to do that, because I think that's one movement we are missing, and it's such a good foundational movement. Like we do a lot of push-ups. I wish we could match it with pull-ups, right? Like it'd just be a great way to balance out all the work that we're doing. Anyway, I got about 20 seconds before it kicks me off. Thanks again for coming. I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. If you know anybody who wants to join, let them know about what we're doing. And I think there's a lot of people out there who are just kind of hanging out by themselves, kind of maybe getting into a funk because it's been a month now of isolation. Even if they just want to stop by, everybody's welcome. So I'll catch you tomorrow. See you guys.